Deep beneath the blue waves, sunlight streaked down and danced like flecks of molten gold. For generations, every fish, every crustacean, every coral polyp lived in quiet, unbroken harmony. The currents carried fresh food. The reef grew slow and steady. No threat touched this small, sheltered stretch of ocean. That peace held for 100 years. Then, it ended. It started as a faint discoloration at the edge of the reef, a light gray tint that faded with the current, then came back thicker the next week. Bits of strange, smooth material tangled in the seagrass. The water tasted like metal and chemicals. By the third week, the entire reef was wrapped in murky gray. No sunlight reached the lower branches. The coral bleached white, one branch at a time. The great whale glided to the reef center and called a meeting of all sea creatures. He circled the bleached coral once, then stopped. "I have swum these oceans for 70 years," Whale said gently, "and never have I seen our homes suffer like this." The clever octopus raised a spotted tentacle from the rock below. "It is not just time or nature," she said. "The currents carry strange things. Broken plastic, thick black oil, discarded fishing nets. Our home is being poisoned from outside." A young turtle dragged himself over loose bits of debris and pulled up beside her. He flipped a crumpled clear bottle with his flipper. "I once mistook a floating plastic bag for jellyfish," he added. "I choked for an hour before I spit it out. Many of us die from this, and never know why." The proud shark sliced through the murky water, his shadow passing over the crowd again and again. "So what do we do?" he snapped, circling impatiently. "Sit here and complain while the ocean dies around us?" The crowd fell silent. No one spoke for a full minute. Then, from the shadows of a half-broken coral branch, a tiny voice curled through the murk. "We may be small," it said softly, "but together we are strong. We don't have to fix everything at once. We just have to protect what we can, starting today." The crowd stirred. Fins flicked. Tentacles shifted. No one had expected an answer from the edge of the gathering, least of all from a creature no bigger than a finger. But the words landed, soft and steady, and they fit. Every head turned. Every eye settled on the curled little form in the shadows. The murmurs started slow, then grew into a low, rumbling agreement. No one argued. The decision was made before the current shifted again. They would start at dawn. The next morning, the reef woke before the sunlight reached the sand. They split into prearranged groups and spread across every corner of the home they had shared for generations. Sharp-clawed crabs scuttled back and forth across the seabed, digging plastic fragments out of packed sand and gathering harmful waste into neat, stacked piles. Fast dolphins raced back and forth along the coral edge, guiding loose nets and large discarded debris away from living coral and out to the open ocean. Octopus wove her long, flexible tentacles through tangled fishing line, working slow and careful to free trapped fish and sea urchins that could not break free on their own. Even the proud shark took a post. Days turned into weeks. The pile of collected waste grew taller and wider on the empty sandy flat. Slowly, the gray murk thinned. Clear blue water pushed back through the reef channels. Bits of slimy algae that had smothered the bleached coral washed away with the outgoing tide. One afternoon, a crab digging near the center of the reef found something new. A tiny, bright pink polyp had sprouted from the tip of a long-dead bleached branch. Word spread fast. More tiny sprouts appeared, one by one, across the old, dead coral. One morning, a school of silver sardines darted through the reef openings, twisting and turning in the streaks of bright sunlight that reached the sand again. One evening, as the sunset painted the water surface pink and orange, Whale gathered everyone back to the reef center. He touched the new bright pink coral with his rostrum, then lifted his head to address the crowd. "Today, we learned something important," he said gently. "The ocean is not just where we live. It is our home and our shared responsibility. No work is too small when every one of us does it together." The animals nodded, each flicking a tail or waving a tentacle in agreement. Each understood their role, no matter how small. And from that day on, whenever new trouble came to the reef, they remembered their promise. They remembered to stand together and to care for the ocean, always.